In 1985, oceanographer and Naval Reserve Commanding Officer Robert Ballard stunned the world when he found the Titanic. The real story, though, behind that mission remained a highly classified U.S. government Cold War secret for decades. The good news for all of us this morning, it is a secret no more. So joining us to tell the whole story is Robert Ballard. It's great to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
This is fascinating. So the headlines are great at the time. We find the Titanic. This is amazing. That was all those sort of a ruse. I mean, you wanted to search for the Titanic, but you couldn't get funding. And so you go to the Navy and you say, hey, let's find the Titanic. And they say, we have a better idea. They wanted you to find 2 nuclear subs from the 60s.
Well, actually, we knew where the subs were. What they wanted me to do was to go back and not have the Russians follow me, because we were interested in the nuclear weapons that were on the Scorpion, and also what was the nuclear reactors doing to the environment. So they did not want the world to know that, and so I had to have a cover story.
And so this threw them off because, it's great, the Titanic, but that's not really what we want.
Well, and I had press aboard that were totally oblivious to what I was doing at the time. I had all sorts of other people on the ship that were not in the room when I was down at the Scorpion.
Which is amazing. So you found the Scorpion, you find the submarines, and then you only have 12 days left to find the Titanic.
Yes, I had embedded in my team naval intelligence officers, and one who had reported directly to my boss, Admiral Ron Thunman, Vice Admiral Ron Thunman, who said, do my job first, and then this officer next to you will say when you're done. And when he said I was done, I had very little time left. But I'd learned a lot from mapping the Thresher and Scorpion that told me how to find the Titanic.
So were you confident, though, that was enough time?
No.
And yet you beat the odds.
We were down to the we have the exhibit now at National Geographic that tells that, not only the story, but then I had to go back a second time, and that was the real scary time, because now were they going to follow me? Because we had to go back to not only the Titanic, but to then go inside the Scorpion.
Right. And so were you followed?
We did our job.
You did your job.
Yes.
You can talk about this now.
Some of it, yes.
Some of it. Why? Because you've done a number of other missions, some 30-odd. You can't talk about any of those?
Well, I can talk about finding the Bismarck. I can talk about a lot of other things, but I can't.
Not the details.
I cannot talk about my other Navy missions, no. They've yet to be declassified.
But so why has this one been declassified?
Ask the Navy. Because they didn't tell me, and when the phone started ringing, National Geographic called and said, Bob, you didn't tell us this. So that's why we're doing the exhibit, because they were fessing up.